not only did they take the camera, right, and the stuff that's in the bags that, okay, fair enough, they took the stuff that's in the bags, but they left a... What's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Matt. Today is a different kind of video. I unfortunately have an issue. I had something happen, something terrible happen, and that is my camera was stolen. Now, obviously, as you can see, I'm shooting on a camera, but I had my B camera stolen. And now I do have a couple cameras, but the camera that I had taken was not only my property and an important camera, but a camera that I quite often use for different angles when I'm filming. So where I live, it's not the best area. In fact, it is a terrible area for theft. And it's been ongoing and really been an ongoing problem now for the past 5 years, and specifically where I live. So it was in my vehicle. Yeah, not the best place. It happened to stay in my vehicle overnight. The day before, I had a lot going on, and it was just one of those things where it slipped my mind and I forgot it. And I was so busy that I actually thought I brought the camera in, but unfortunately I did not. And I would discover that the very next day. Now, as far as being in my being in my car, it didn't spend a whole lot of time in there, maybe 8 hours. Now, for some, they're probably, some of you may think that ultimately by saying I left my camera in my car, that maybe I left it on the seat in plain sight. I mean, you got windows, people walk by, they see that. It was not visible. I had it in a black case, and like a small black case, and it was down on my floor, excuse me, and underneath, kind of underneath my passenger side seat. So it was down there, and there was a couple other things in there. There was like a toolbox. There was 2 bags. I think that was mainly it. Now, the stuff that had bags in them, there were some valuable things in there, some things that could be considered valuable, but they weren't, they weren't valuable like my camera, and they weren't, they're not items that I really care for too much. My camera, I do care about, obviously, but my guess is that they saw the bags, like they saw probably the one bag that was in the back and then the other. And I'm sure they thought, well, I'm seeing this, so this person looks like they have some valuable things in their vehicle. And of course, the only time that I do something like that, like leave a camera, and that is something that I would never, ever do again, for one, but it's something that I don't do. And unfortunately, the one time that I leave it in my vehicle, it gets taken. And prior to that happening, it had been just such an awful week. I'll get into that another time, another story. I'll talk about that. But yeah, I left the camera in there, and within 8 hours, it was taken. Now, here's the kicker of it. Not only did they take the camera, right, and the stuff that's in the bags that, okay, fair enough, they took the stuff that's in the bags. But when they broke into my vehicle, because it was locked, And here's the crazy thing. They left like a tool behind that they used to get in my car. I have no idea how they were even able to get my car open with this tool. And I have never seen this tool in my life, but they left it there. Like they just didn't care. They broke in, they left it there. And here's the kicker. So not only the tool, but when they broke in, they ate an apple and left the damn core in my car. What the hell? So as if it's not an FU enough, they ate an apple and just left it behind. I mean, when I went in my vehicle, I knew something was off because right away there was papers everywhere. There was a bag on the front seat, and I never had any of the bags on the front seat. Everything was in the back. And I mean, that was really it that was in my vehicle. Like the bags, the camera, unfortunately, and the toolbox, which didn't even have any tools in it. So yeah, they left that behind. Now I have taken the proper procedures and I contacted the police. The police came on by. I left a police report, showed them a picture of what my camera, looks like, which, if you don't have some major defect with the camera or some sort of way of saying that, hey, this is your camera. I have the box, I have the serial number, I have those things, which are fine, but as far as like carving your initials, not that you would, using a piece of black tape, some gafting tape or whatever, you know what I mean? Just something to kind of more customize the fact that it's your camera. And so I didn't have anything like that to go on, you know what I mean? So, I did what I could. I filed a police report, and from there, I kind of did my own legwork, So I was calling a bunch of different pawn shops, and, if you make the police report, obviously, then in that case, it can be flagged. It'll come up in their system, yada, yada. But I mean, even with pawn shops, like, I guess you can't be too careful, right? Like, I'm sure there is some crooked pawn shop dealers out there, but that's not something that I'm leaning heavily on. Obviously, I want my camera back. I don't believe that's going to happen. There's a big problem in the city with theft, and not too far from where I'm at is a really bad area for paraphernalia use and dealings and the whole nine with that. So the chances are extremely slim on getting that camera back. And luckily, I have renter's insurance, and my vehicle was parked right outside of my apartment, so that's all covered. It really comes down just to being the huge inconvenience that it causes. And, there's a lot there that you got to prove to your renter's insurance, like the break-in damage. Even though there wasn't any damage, I just had to be like, hey, it happened in my vehicle. There isn't any damage. They left this behind, and they left an apple core behind. But even with that, it's like the police didn't want to take the tool, and they did not care to take the apple core. Now, I do get it. They're not investigating a murder. But who is to say this person isn't a full-time criminal and has done more? But nonetheless, they're not going to go that far with it, unfortunately. You got to think for them as well, being in a city, They deal with so many different things, so many different volumes of crimes, and it just, I guess, just it would just be insane for them. Now, I will say that since that has happened, I still have not gotten my camera or have gotten a replacement camera. I plan on doing that, and I just did get, I was able to, get the money for the camera through my renter's insurance, through going through all that. It's close, I will say, and the camera over time has gone down, so I can't be upset about that. At least I did get money back, and it is more than half of the money that it is, at least now anyway. So I mean, at least there's that, but it sucks. I'm doing everything that I can. The pawn shops, calling them, it's like there's only so much I can do with that, because it's like, you think about it, you can do the legwork and look for your camera, but I mean, realistically, if they have a camera and they're doing things right, then they're putting it in the system, and anything that is stolen is going to come back. It's really wild that someone would not only take something from you, but just be an a-hole enough to eat a piece of fruit and just leave it in your car. Just like, why do I deserve that? Like, what kind of human being are you to do something like that? Well, take it from me. Don't leave your camera in your vehicle. Heck, if you're traveling with it, don't take your eyes off it. That means if you're taking a train, a bus, a taxi, or an Uber, have a tight grip on that thing. Know where it is at all times. Don't chance it. It sucks having this happen. You don't want to deal with what I had to deal with. It is a whole headache. And at the end of the day, it makes you feel bitter. And it really sucks, because you just really realize how terrible some people can be. Man, it's awful. Well, that's all for now. I am looking forward to better days, as they will come. So I'm going to keep my chin up, and so should you. All right. Have a good one.